right, PRZs. Y'all had some good guesses. Possible rational zeros. Now, here's what you have to think about. We have found zeros given a zero, right? But the problem comes in, what if we're not given a zero, we're not given a factor, but we're asked to find all the zeros? We get ourselves in a bit of a pickle, right? Yes, Miss McGee? Okay. So what we do, well, it's kind of a guess and check thing. What we're going to do is we're going to list them out first, okay? So there's a little formula for listing possibilities. They may be a zero and they may not be a zero. And then we're going to test them, okay? So to find our PRZs, what we're going to do is we're going to make a listing of all of the factors of the leading coefficient. Just kidding, it's factors of the constant. Divided by factors of the leading coefficient. There we go. So it's every single possible fraction you can make out of factors of the constant divided by factors of the leading coefficient. So let me show you what I mean. Let's say I have f of x equals 2x to the 5th minus 6x to the 3rd plus 3x squared minus 8.
Do we have to put in your grade?
Not yet. We will once we start actually testing them. But right now, I just want a list of possibilities, okay? So my question to you is, first of all, what are the factors of the constant here?
2, 4.
1, 8.
Like -1.
1. I'm going to say, and you're right, that's why I'm going to put the plus or minus there. I'm going to do plus or minus 1. Let's go in order. 2, 4, 8. How about the 2? What are the factors? 1 and 2. Do we all agree that that's it? So to find the actual PRZs, or the possible rational zeros, I'm going to do every fraction I can make, taking these numbers and dividing them by these numbers. Okay? So start with dividing all of these numbers first by 1. We're going to do plus or minus in front of all of them, so it'll cover both. Alright, so 1 divided by 1 is 2 divided by 1 is 4 divided by 1 is, and 8 divided, it's all the same thing, you're exactly right. So now I've divided everybody by 1. Now divide everybody by 2. But you don't have to include repeats, okay? So what I mean by that, 1 divided by 2 is 1/2.
Everything else.
2 divided by 2 is 1, I have that. 4 divided by 2 is 2, I have that. And 8 divided by 2 is, and I have that. So my possibilities, there are 10 possibilities. Do you see that? Those are going to be the possible zeros, which means those are my starting point of what I'm going to check to see, are they an actual zero.
What are you dividing?
So you
Not dividing anything yet, I hadn't got to that point. But oh, the constant terms divided by the leading coefficient terms.
All of them?
The constant is the number without a variable.
All of them, yes, all of them, JD. You take, golly. I'm sorry. Alright, so what we have to do, and I should have picked a better one instead of making one up off my top of my head, so that we could actually test the points too. But what we're going to do is we're going to take each one of these. We'll start with 1, and we would synthetically divide. Okay? And we would keep trying these values until we got to the one that gives us a 0 on the end.
Okay.
No remainder.
That's a lot of now that we got this, how many homework problems we're going to have this week? Because we're going to have to do this 10 times. Come on.
Let me show.
3 problems.
So
This
we're
is
gonna have
like,
okay,
one homework problem.
One homework problem.
You only need one to start. Now look. And in just a minute, I'll show you one. Some of them are going to have double PRZs, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Some of these you'll have to do PRZs 2 or 3 times in order to get it down because you don't know how to factor them any further. Let's just start with what we know. All right, let's go. F of x equals x cubed minus 8x squared plus 11x plus 20. The directions say find all zeros. So, I know to find zeros, I need to factor and set each piece to 0. But as I look at this, I don't know how to factor that. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what am I going to do?
Find them PRZs.
All right. So, let's find the PRZs first. Tell me. Now, the leading coefficient's easy because it's 1, right? So, my PRZs are just going to be all the factors of 20. Because the leading coefficient's 1. So, that makes it easy. So, 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. So now my question becomes, of those PRZs, which one, those are possibilities, which one is an actual?
You gotta figure that out.
That's what I gotta figure out.
You have to figure out 3 of them, right? Because of the
No, we're gonna use the skills we know after that. I'll show you. Let's start with 1.
How do you know things to be 1? So we start with like
1, negative 8, 11, and 20. 1, negative 7, 4. Nope, I get 24 there. That does not work.
So wait
Wait a minute.
What am I looking for?
0 on the end.
No remainder. No remainder by that theorem we talked about yesterday tells me it is a 0 and thereby is also a factor. So I've got to keep going until I find one that has no remainder. So let's try negative 1. 1, negative 8, 11, and 20. 1, negative 1, negative 9, 9, 20, negative 20, up.
0.
I found one.
This will take so
Do you see how I found the right one?
No.
Yes.
We're going down the list.
I'm going down this list of numbers in green right here, and I'm continually dividing until I hit the one that has no remainder.
So we do the positive, then the negative. We just keep going.
Yes.
See, this is it.
All right. Colin, you got it?
it's not that hard.
Factors of 20. 1,
I just thought the factors were
2,
20.
10 factors of 4, and then
Shh, Evan.
It's easy, it's just a lot.
And
All right.
after that step,
At this point, I pick up with what we did yesterday. Now I can say, okay, I can go back up to this problem and say, well, look, I know one of the zeros. Can you find the other zeros? Sure you can. I have. That means x plus 1 times x squared minus 9x plus 20 has got to equal 0. Can I factor x squared minus 9x plus 20? Does anything multiply to 20 and add to negative 9?
negative 4, negative 5.
Negative 4 and negative 5. So I've got x plus 1, x squared minus 4x minus 5x plus 20. Take out an x. Take out a negative 5. What's wrong, Cullen? You can, it doesn't matter. The order doesn't matter. Your terms will just be in a different order than mine are. Alright, x minus 4, x minus 5 equals 0. So my zeros are 1.
It's a negative.
Wait, you went from...
Yeah, you went from plus
positive one.
to negative.
You said x plus 1, x plus 1, x plus 1, x minus 1.
Oh, thank you. And 5. Do you see what we did?
No, no, we just
Can
need
you like
one,
scoot
and
it
then
up
we
just
plug
a
it
teeny
in,
bit?
and then we factor it, and then you can all
Yeah.
Moral of the story, we can't check until we can figure it out.
Well, so you have to be able to guys, y'all stay focused. I feel like when I'm sitting like this, no, everybody like loses focus.
Because you're sitting.
I know.
That's good.
Yeah.
So first, x is negative 1?
Yes. It was x plus 1. It gives me negative 1. Miss Wilson, I don't like. Here's what you have to understand about these. The reason I do this is because my factoring knowledge is limited when I'm to something like this. I don't know how to factor that. I have to have a starting point, okay, because I cannot factor it. So the question becomes, look when I get to this part. What if I couldn't factor this? Well, but what if it wasn't a quadratic if it had a power of 3? What if I couldn't factor it?
We have to do it again.
I would have to PRZ again. The point that, but listen, what I'm getting at, you would PRZ just this. What I'm getting at is that PRZs is just a way to help you factor. PRZs find a factor for you and then you go from there. Okay? Let me show you.
All of them.
Do they get harder? Like significantly?
Because we need...
Yeah, like, we look like.
Wait, you need to write down the homework. Because I want to know how much travel line it is. Can you put it down?
So, you can use the things you have on the top, like what you haven't used to find one.
If I were doing it again, like if I got to this one I've got circled in green here, I would list out all new PRZs. Okay, and some of the stuff might be the same and some of it might not. So, and then I would be plugging into this one and not the other one. All right, let's do another. Let's do a hard one. 2x to the 4th plus 5x cubed.
You can't seem to write.
She's telling us.
Minus 18x squared. Oh, that's a minus. Minus negative 19x plus 42. How many zeros should I get for this one?
4.
No, 4.
4. 4. See that exponent of 4 there? That tells me I should get 4.
Oh, wait, so all the time that's how many?
Yes. So, I definitely don't know how to factor anything like that of the 4th power, right? Shh, guys, Drew. So let's list our PRZs out. Notice my leading coefficient is 2, which means my factors of 2 are going to be 1 and 2. So I'm going to take all the factors of 42 and then all the factors of 42 divided by 2. So let's first list the factors of 42. What are they?
6, 7.
Start with 1 and 2. Let's go. It's easier if you go in order.
3,
3,
6,
6,
7,
Now divide them all by 2. 1/2. 2 over 2 is 1, I got that. 3 over 2, that's right. 6 over 2 is 3, 7 over 2. 14 over 2 is 7, I got that. 21 over 2. And then 42 over 2 is 21. So I'm good. So it's time to start plugging chugging. There are a lot of fractions on this. All right. Ready, Freddies?
Let's do the non-fractions first.
The non-fractions first?
Unless it's a fraction. Well, if it's
Should
a
we do the
fraction,
fractions
it's a
first?
fraction.
Are you going to show us an easy way to find the image in an easy way?
I'm going to show you a little cheat tomorrow.
Miss Lee, so you're gonna have a struggle through the homework today?
Can I do like my planners?
On purpose.
Is it a special rule or can it work at any board?
It's not what's on there. All right, let's try it. Let's go. Start with, I'm going to start with 1. 2, 2, 7, 7, negative 11, negative 11, negative 40, 20, 30, 30. Nope.
Wait, what was that?
It's just not 0. I'm just looking for one that is 0. Negative 1. I kind of know where this is going, so that's why I'm running through these a little fast. If you want to jump ahead of me and try some, feel free. First one to find it, tell me what you got. 20, 21, 2. It's not that one. Shh, 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 shh. 2.
Alright, one question real quick. Do you have to try them in order? Or can
Nope.
you go out? Okay. I say you try 7 minutes.
Nope. All of them are not this hard to find. I knew what this one was going to be like, but I wanted to do it because I wanted you to see what happens when
It's not 3. It's not positive 3.
I just can't tell.
No, you can't tell. I just,
That's 21. Oh wait, yeah, that's.
found it.
Dang, I was what? I tried 3.
You see it too far in my head.
All right. So now, write it as a factored problem.
Alright, 2x cubed.
X plus 2.
2x cubed.
We did all that work to find that 2. All right, go. Cullen, what you got?
2x
2x
cubed.
cubed
1x squared.
plus x squared
Minus 20x.
minus 20x
Plus 21.
plus 21.
you still can't do it.
Oh
God.
no! Oh no! What are we gonna do? Oh no, Donovan!
3 problems.
Oh no!
I'm not, why?
Because you all realized it at the same time. You're like, oh my gosh, look at it!
I'm really sitting here about to cry. I can't do
Wait,
this.
now I'm
Okay, so my first thing with this, the first thing I would do is I would look at it and say, can I slash it? Can I group it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can
No.
you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can. Yes, you can.
No, you can't. There's nothing that goes into 20 and 21.
No.
Unless you want to see it.
My head hurts.
So you have to do it all.
Donovan, looking just at this one underlined.
Hold on. We're having a problem.
Are you okay? She just started
She
like.
is
good?
dying, Miss McGee.
Okay.
She is dying.
All right. So only looking at the one that's underlined in orange. Tell me what the PRZs are.
No. Okay.
Okay, so there's one.
1, 3, 7.
And then you got 1/2.
Wait a minute.
I'm 3 halves. All right. Yeah, 7 halves.
Where are you confused?
Wait, so you divide everything by 2 that
Yes.
you got for the first PRC?
All right. Start trying them. I'll give you a hint. It might be a good thing to try a fraction on this one.
Why you gotta be?
Hey, at least
Why you gotta be so cruel?
Wait, can I just ask the class something? Is anybody confused on the technique of what we're supposed to do? You see, once we get those two across, the point of homework,
There's 3.
the point of homework is to make sure you know what you're doing. So if we all know what we're doing at the end of class, do we really?
But look, the difference is you doing it along with me is different than you doing it.
Miss McGee.
So-
The practice concretes the idea. All right, guys, back to this. Here we go.
It's not 1/2.
I'm gonna try.
I'm gonna go with 3.
Try the right answer.
7 over 2.
I agree with you.
Or 3 halves.
I'm gonna go with 3 over 2.
Okay, it's not that one. No, 3 over 2.
Why am I going with 3 over 2? Because I know the answer.
Yes.
Which
Of
3 over
course.
2?
Watch it not be that.
2, 3, 4, 6.
She put them into. Yeah, that's right.
She put what in what?
21.
Okay.
Negative
that's
21.
fine.
Fractions, guys. 3 over 2 times 4. I did this in my head and said 3 times 2 is 6. And then 3 over 2 times 14. I took a 2 out of both of those and did 3 times 7 is 21.
Being that I can't do this in my head, it's gonna take a while.
You can use your calculator. All right, so just what's underlined in orange then factors to x minus 3 over 2 times 2x squared plus 4x. I really hope this is a quadratic formula one too,
Why would you put that?
because that's fun.
What's your idea of time?
Okay,
Is that a quadratic?
Wait. We have to write on x plus 2. Never mind.
yes, that is still part of it.
Okay.
The only reason I digressed and did this PRZ is because I couldn't factor 2x cubed plus x squared minus 20x plus 21.
I don't know how to add 28.
Okay, well, first off, look, they're all divisible by what? 2. I'm going to take that out. And because multiplication is commutative, I'm going to just throw it in the front of my equation here.
Okay.
All right, everything else stays the same.
No.
X squared plus 2x minus 7.
It is a quadratic.
It's not. Please don't.
Yay!
Wait,
Oh my God.
She enjoys our suffering.
I enjoy doing these, believe it or not. They're fun.
I'm
just not copying the second
Dude, I have a game tonight, Miss McGee.
Wait, okay. You took out the 2, but could you just do the quadratic formula without dividing everything by 2?
You could, yes. You would have a little bit more work in your simplification process of the quadratic formula, but you could. Did y'all hear the question? Yeah. The question was, could we just do quadratic formula at this point? And the answer is yes, but your fraction's you're gonna have to work a little bit harder to simplify your fraction in the end. Justin?
Where did those fractions out to the right? The 3 over 2.
They were confused about whenever we were multiplying around here, how I was multiplying that in my head, and I was just showing them. They don't have any bearing on the problem. You can use your calculator to multiply around.
Okay.
Yes, Donovan.
I have a game tonight.
Okay, so I'm ready to solve. I'm ready to solve. So I have x equals -2. Donovan, you know what they call it? Extracurricular.
Oh my goodness.
You know why they call it that? Because it's in addition to the curricular, it's extra.
But my score is extra.
Alright,
X equals 3 over 2.
I'm gonna die.
here we go. Quadratic formula, because nothing multiplies to -7 but adds to +2. So, opposite b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac.
All over to it.
Everybody goes over 2a. Everybody.
Everybody.
Maybe
Everybody.
if we did the extra credit now, everyone got this late.
Do what?
Maybe if we would have did the extra credit now, everyone got this wrong.
Why? Because we've done it so much. But I told you that's what was going to happen in chapter 1. You'll use chapter 1 concepts so much. They seem so hard when you learn them. By the time we get to the end, you'll be like, oh my gosh, just to go back.
Yeah, ran out of room, so I gave it.
How many of these would you with tests?
Oh, 20? 25?
Which would be so we're gonna have one. We're gonna have 9 tests to do.
I'm gonna need multiple class periods.
For real.
Watch. Oh man, I thought it was going to be an imaginary.
Really, that's okay.
I was getting real
Last
excited.
test, the retake, I only finished 11 questions.
Alright, 32.
Right, but
16 and 2,
You were 100% what you did.
which is 4 root 2 over 2. Everybody can take out a 2. So I get -1 plus or minus 2 root 2. Look, 2, 3, 4. So much fun!
I hate
Must have been